Who needs people when you have man's best friend? Dogs are fluffy, they're loyal, and they love hitting you with a mean side eye. It's no surprise that an animal that has been such a huge part of human history would be a common occurrence in the world of video games. So today, I wanted to just talk a little bit about dogs in video games. Dogs are the domesticated pets of humans, so often dogs play the role of companions to the human characters in games. For example, the dog in Stardew Valley is one of two pets you can choose at the start of the game, the only two options being a dog or a cat. You do have the ability to choose one of a handful of different looks for your dog. I'm not quite sure what breed each one is supposed to be, but there's a bit of variety here. For many years, dogs were basically just background decoration in Stardew Valley. Getting a high friendship with your dog by petting it and giving it water does give you a point towards a better evaluation, but besides that, dogs were just kind of there for flavor. However, in the 1.6 update, pet gifts were added. Dogs can now find a random item every day from a set list of stuff. To be quite honest, a lot of the stuff that the dog can find isn't anything special, although very rarely you can get some cool stuff like a dinosaur egg. You can also give your dog a hat, which is very, very awesome. How much of a role a dog plays in the gameplay varies wildly from game to game. Like in Stardew Valley, they're marginally useful. The dogs in Minecraft are a bit more useful. I know they're technically wolves, they're not dogs, but they're from the same species, so it counts. Wolves were a big addition to Minecraft as they were the first pets to be included in the game. Before wolves were included, Minecraft was a really lonely game. The only other creatures in the game were enemies and neutral animals that only existed to be dinner and other resources. Wolves gave the player a chance to have a friend to join them on adventures. Wolves will attack enemies that hurt you, which makes them legitimately useful for combat. Wolves start out as wild animals found sparsely in the game, but by using bones, you can tame them, and they get a nice little collar. You can change the color of your wolf's collar by using one of the various dyes in the game. Wolves also have several different design variations which were introduced in the 1.20 update. Which variation a wolf is depends on what type of area you find them in, which is pretty cool. Wolves in Minecraft have a number of nice little touches like doing the little dog head tilt thing when you have a bone or meat in your hands, and they also shake water off of themselves when they come out of the water. The wolves in Minecraft are wild dogs that you have to tame, just like the various dog Pokemon in the Pokemon series. The Pokemon series has been around for nearly 30 years, so it's no surprise that for a popular animal like a dog, there are tons of dog Pokemon in the game. The first was, of course, Growlithe and its evolved form, Arcanine. Because I like dogs a lot, Growlithe is one of my more beloved Pokemon. It's also a fire type, which is awesome too. An interesting thing about Arcanine is that the Pokedex entry in Pokemon Yellow actually calls it a legendary Pokemon in China. Back in the early days of Pokemon, the series was a lot more open to explicitly mentioning real-world locations. Lieutenant Surge is said to be from America, and Delibird gave food to an explorer who went to the peak of Mount Everest. I'd say around Generation 5 with Pokemon Black and White was when they started to be a lot more conservative with directly referencing real-world locations. The Pokemon universe was much more established at that point, and they tried to make it a much more self-contained thing. This makes Arcanine's Pokedex entry about China really funny. Growlithe and Arcanine got new forms in Pokemon Arceus. They're Hisuian forms. In these forms, they become fire and rock types instead of just being fire types. The Growlithe family is probably my favorite of the dog Pokemon, but besides them, I do quite like the Yamper line. Yamper in its evolved form Bolton just looks so happy and full of energy. Dogs just have a way of instantly brightening up your day. That's probably why dogs show up a fair bit in horror games. There's the wolf from Until Dawn, Brown from Rule of Rose, Huey from Haunting Ground, the wolf from Resident Evil 4, heck even Polterpup from Luigi's Mansion 2. A part of what makes horror games scary is the feeling of isolation that you get from playing the game. Being all alone in a dark place filled with monsters that are trying to kill you is obviously pretty stressful. If you include other humans to talk to, that can definitely water down the feelings of loneliness that you get. However, by including a dog, you can give the player characters something to interact with and potentially something to help solve puzzles with without giving the player a person to have full-on conversations with. One dog that does have plenty of conversations with the player is Blade Wolf from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Early on in the game, the main character, Raiden, meets this AI dog robot thing called LQ-84I, aka Blade Wolf, that tries to attack him. Blade Wolf has a bit of a smart mouth, but I guess Raiden must have taken a liking to the thing, because afterwards, Raiden gets the AI reprogrammed to be on his side. Blade Wolf then becomes a companion to Raiden, who helps him out by doing recon in the mission areas. Some of the interactions between them are great.
Do not be distracted by the advertisements. You are not here as a tourist.
Sure. I'll just buy a quick souvenir or two for Rose and that'll be it.
Raiden, we must hurry.
Remind me to teach you about sarcasm sometime.
I understand your attempts at humor. I simply do not find them entertaining.
Not only does Blade Wolf play a role in the main Raiden campaign, but Blade Wolf actually got his own DLC campaign where you can play as Blade Wolf before he joined up with Raiden. It's a pretty short set of missions, but hey, how can you turn down being able to play as this adorable little fella? While we're talking about robot dogs, we have to mention Rush from the Mega Man series. Rush was introduced in Mega Man 3, and since then, he's been a staple of the classic Mega Man games, though his importance never really translated to the other Mega Man series. Before Rush was introduced, Mega Man used different utility items, like Item 2 from Mega Man 2 that allowed him to fly over large portions of the stage. However, once Rush was introduced, he ended up filling the role of those items. Rush has had a number of different abilities over the years. The Rush Coil can give Mega Man a big boost upward into the air, Rush Jet works a lot like Item 2, allowing Mega Man to cross large portions of the stage, and the Rush adapters from Mega Man 6 allow Mega Man to fuse with Rush, giving him different abilities like a jetpack. Rush can even apparently turn into a car, as seen in the racing game Mega Man Battle and Chase. While I don't think Rush was needed, incorporating Mega Man's support weapons into a character was a smart idea that gives the weapons a bit more personality to them. While we're talking about personality, the Persona series has a really cool dog, Koromaru from Persona 3. He's this random dog who ends up joining your party once it's discovered that he has a persona. Personas are essentially these spirit-like guardians that protect their users. Koromaru is of course really adorable, and what makes him so funny to me is that the Persona series has a trend of having animals join your team. In Persona 4 there was Teddy, and in Persona 5 there was Morgana. But while Teddy and Morgana are these anthropomorphic mascot characters who can walk and talk like regular humans, Koromaru is just a straight up dog. Just a regular, ordinary Shiba Inu. I just find that so amusing. And Koromaru is a good party member too, which is great of course. Dogs are awesome. Not everyone loves them, but if you find one that's friendly and nice, they're some of the most lovable creatures on the planet. Naturally, such a popular animal has made its way into the world of video games, and that's just wonderful. If there's a cool dog in a video game that I didn't mention in this video, please feel free to tell me about it in the comments. That's about all I have to say for today though, so thanks for watching y'all and have a great rest of your day.